been in a big makeup mood recently. Ignore my face. I had this blemish and I wasn't very good about not touching it, so I have this little like spot on my face. Anyways, I've been really obsessed with buying new makeup. It's gotten kind of bad. Like I've mentioned, I kind of really fell in love with YouTube again. I've been watching a lot more makeup videos and I've just been like really into trying new makeup and also like improving my makeup techniques. Placed another order on Ulta. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Ulta. And then Tony and I also went to Walmart last night because I really wanted to play around with some new drugstore makeup. I feel like so many drugstore brands have just been upping their game and coming out with really amazing products. So after last week's snafu in my last Get Ready With Me where I tried some new products, I got the wrong color Shape Tape. Didn't look like that. I tried to make the one I had work. No matter what I mixed it with, it still just gave me a white cast over my face and made me look a little bit pale. I am also really disappointed by the Kosas foundation, the oil foundation. I mentioned that I bought it and I wanted to mix it in with the Tarte Shape Tape, but for an oil foundation, it looks super powdery. It doesn't do anything for my skin. I don't know if you guys can see how much, like, it's just piling up on my face. I tried it mixed in with other foundations alone. Like I tried it every which way and it just wasn't for me, which was really disappointing because I thought it was going to be like an ideal product. I love the concept, but it just wasn't for me, I guess. So I went to Walmart yesterday and I got a few exciting new drugstore purchases. The first thing I'm really excited to try is this e.l.f. foundation sponge. It soaked up the liquid so fast and got really mushy and fluffy and spongy right away, which is really nice because I find with a lot of my beauty blenders, I'm under the water like holding it and squeezing it for so long, so I really like that this just doubled in size so quickly. I also purchased a few new drugstore foundations. One of them I've already tried like years ago when it came out and I really liked it. It's the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I haven't tried it in a few years. I tried it when it first came out and I remember really liking it. I saw Casey Holmes did a video on this yesterday. It's the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation, and this is medium buildable coverage, no harsh ingredients, anti-pollution, antioxidant, anti-blue light, oil-free. I did pick up a few new shades in the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer because the shades I got were a little bit too light. I also, when I placed my order on Ulta again, I ordered the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I don't know if we can get it in Canada yet, so I just ordered it on Ulta. I just want to talk quickly about the ordering process for Canadians and Ulta because I know a lot of people had questions and I wasn't really sure what to expect the first time I ordered, so I just ordered because I was curious. Ulta ships to Canada through border free. In my experience, I haven't had to pay any duties. For both of my orders, I placed them Sunday and I got them Thursday, so really quick shipping time. Shipping was free over $75. They have such a range of products and brands that Canadians I feel aren't really exposed to, so I think it's a really fun way to shop. So I love coconut. I love the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. It's one of my favorite drugstore foundations and I just saw this in Canada for the first time at Walmart. You can also order it on Ulta.com and I actually almost ordered it. I like being able to order like drugstore products online. It's really fun and easy. So okay, let's try this on while I'm talking. 3-in-1 primer water, prep, set, and refresh. So that smells beachy. So the primer water feels really nice on my skin. Feels a little bit dewy, which I don't mind since I probably will be doing a fuller coverage foundation. I did also get this package in the mail from First Aid Beauty. It came with all of their primers. I'm actually really excited about the Hello Fab Pores Be Gone Matte Primer with Fig Extract. Minimizes the appearance of pores and creates a smooth, even canvas and soft focus effect for all day makeup wear or no makeup days. Oh, this is interesting. I'm so used to like pore filling primers being like almost silicone-y. I love this Tarte primer, the Timeless Smoothing Primer. I'm not used to it being almost like moisturizing feeling. I don't like putting mattifying primers everywhere, just in areas where I might get a little bit shiny. Feels nice though. I like that it doesn't feel super mattifying. I did also order the Anastasia Dewy Set Setting Spray because especially when I wear my fuller coverage foundations like the Makeup Revolution or the Clinique or stuff like that where it's not super luminous, if I don't mix something in, I do like a little finisher like a Fix Plus, and I actually ran out of Fix Plus. The bottle is so pretty. Okay, so now that I've been talking forever, I want to start my foundation. I already have my primers on. I am going to take a little bit of this more silicone-y primer and just put it on on here, so it kind of makes it a little bit more of a smoother application. So this is the Revlon Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation. I really like the packaging. A little bit thicker, but not super liquid, but not like a moussey consistency either. I know everything looks like it's so light, but that actually looks good. I feel like I know if I'll like a foundation right away. I personally like applying my foundations with a brush first and just like really working it into the skin. And then if I want any additional coverage, I have some left over on my hand, I might just like pat it where I want it. This is like really bouncy. It honestly is like really a bouncy foundation, sponge. Tony texted me this morning and she's like, it's just like the Beauty Blender. We need to go buy 100 of them. It was a little bit pricier than I was expecting. It was like $11, which it's not that it's expensive for a sponge because you look at like other brands and their sponges are so much more expensive, but it's just the fact that it's e.l.f. When I started YouTube and like had first heard of e.l.f., it wasn't in Canada yet, and I just knew it as like the $1 makeup line. And I feel like it's just like, it's like, it feels just really nice. I mean, the foundation looks decent. I'm just not looking at it going, oh my god, this is like a game changer. A lot of foundations I feel like look better once I add concealer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the e.l.f. Medium Beige 16-Hour Concealer. Looks like a decent color match. I'm gonna do one eye at a time because I don't know how it dries or not. Huh. Can you guys tell a difference? It definitely looks a lot brighter. I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit more, like right in the hollow areas. I feel like that's where I'm the most dark. I've just come to accept the fact that I'm someone who is either 0 or 100 with makeup. I was talking about this with Tony and I was like, honestly, I've just come to accept the fact that when I sit down to do my makeup, like I'm going full makeup. I honestly feel better with 0 makeup on, just like moisturizer, than I do when I just do like a half-ass quick makeup application. It's weird, I don't know why. So this is with 2 layers of the concealer. What do you guys think? Oh my god, have you guys started watching the new Madeleine McCann documentary on Netflix? Madeleine McCann's story is very, I don't know, I feel like I've just always known about this case because it happened when I was young, and I just remember always seeing her on like the cover of People, or like, I don't know, like my nana and my mom were always watching like crime shows. I honestly don't really know what to think of the whole Madeleine McCann situation, because on one hand, I'm like, obviously the parents, I'm just taking some of the L'Oreal concealer now. Her parents should not have left the kids alone in a resort. I always thought like, why would they do that? But then in the documentary, like I'm on the 2nd episode, it's not a spoiler or anything, but there was a guy who was interviewed. He was like, oh, that was normal. That's what people did. You would, you know, put your kids to bed and then go eat at a restaurant like pretty close by. I don't know. I just don't think I would feel comfortable. But if it's just something normal that people do and they never have issues, I understand why you would probably think like, oh, it's fine. Like everyone does it. It only takes one shot. I don't know. I can't imagine leaving my children. A 3-year-old, that's young. That is young. I'm gonna go in with my Chanel Slay Tan de Chanel. I've been loving this product lately. I've just been really loving this to add some warmth to my face. I don't know, that the whole parents leaving the kids alone was always something I was like, how could you do it? It makes more sense when you hear that this was something normal that people did. This is a little tip that I picked up from my friend Kylie Jenner. I'm just gonna take some of the Coty Airspun powder, and I'm gonna take a tiny little bit of translucent setting powder and almost like pat it on my hand, so I don't even have that much on the sponge. And I'm gonna really like focus it over here and focus it on pressing it in, but I'm not adding, like I'm not baking with a ton of the translucent setting powder. I'm also just gonna take some and pop it on my upper lip because this is for some reason the place I sweat the most. And I'm gonna take some of this NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop banana powder. It's a really nice powder. It's just yellow, it's pretty yellow, so I'm just gonna shake some out. I also focus some powders on like the outer corners of my eye. I learned this trick from my sister. It just kind of like pulls your eyes up in a way. Then for eyes, we're just gonna keep it really, really simple. I'm gonna take my eye primer. A lot of you have been asking about like my true crime videos and why I haven't done them in a while. So I just wanted to talk about them a little bit because it was something really hard for me to kind of like step back from, because it's something that I'm so passionate about and I so enjoy. A lot of people also say, why don't you pursue a career in criminal justice? I don't think I have the emotional capacity to handle being so involved in cases. All of the cases that I covered on my channel, except for Amanda Knox, because I feel like it's been so talked about, the majority of the cases that I covered on my channel were more, not obscure cases, but not like the Madeleine McCann or like Lacey Peterson. I chose stories that really like, in some way, I had like a personal connection to. Like even not a personal connection to the person, I still felt connected to the story. And even if I didn't feel like an intense connection to the story, I just got so deeply involved. I don't think it was necessarily helping my depression and anxiety. The only thing I can say, there's a really big difference between listening to like your favorite true crime podcast and then really like deep diving into cases, especially when the truth is so important to you, because the last thing I would want to do is come online and tell a fake story about, you know, innocent victims. Like that's not what I would ever want to do. Basically what would happen, like with Daniel Holtzclaw, Daniel's case is still a case that I'm very, very passionate about and still vocal about and still follow. I get too deeply like involved. Okay, I'm just gonna do my eyes. I'm gonna start off with the 35, you know what, no, I'm gonna start off with the Jaclyn Hill palette because I actually like the matte colors better in the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I started researching this case in the middle of December. Once again, I end up on this month-long rabbit hole. Not even month-long, it's March now, and I just left one of the Facebook groups I was in because I was like, this isn't healthy, I need to let it go. Anyways, the case that I started researching was the Chris Watts. Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife and 2 children. It's a grotesque story, but it's also one of the most fascinating stories that I think I've ever come across. First glance, you think, oh, it's probably like this guy just wanted a divorce, didn't know how to do it, didn't know how to tell his wife, was scared of all the financial ruin. But then you look at everything like that went into the case. Like there's so many different aspects of it that the media like just doesn't even really cover. And it's just so fascinating to me, like the whole psychology of this case, because people will call Chris a narcissist because, you know, I can't even get into it because there's just so much in this case. It's weird because he doesn't necessarily fit like the standard narcissist. So I wouldn't even label him as anything. I really think he's in a league of his own. It's almost like he disassociated. It's very, very bizarre. So if you guys would want a video where I kind of just like shot the shit with you about the case, I feel like that might be better for me than feeling like I need to put together a 2020 documentary. I guess I thought that I could handle it, but like psychologically it just took a big toll on me. I just get too emotionally invested. I'm an empath, and so it's very easy, it's like very hard for me to look at a criminal case or a case like this or like the case with Daniel and just not get like literally physically probably ill from these stories because of how they affect me and how I feel for the poor victims. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Oh, I just used these 2 colors, by the way. These 2 over here, the 2 darker ones. I'm gonna take like a darker brown on the same brush and just like work it in. I've been doing something new. I think it's called like a halo eye. I'm just taking some of the dark shadow that I used on the outer corner and kind of blending it into the inner, but leaving the middle empty. I think I'm gonna take the bronze palette. This, I do like for all the bronze like shimmer colors, but I really honestly feel like the mattes aren't the best. I guess since I'm doing a get ready with me, why not go all out and actually try out like a little bit of a new technique. So I'm just taking a little bit of concealer and this little concealer brush. And I've been really into Casey Holmes videos lately. So I saw her do this and I was like, it looks pretty easy. So all the actual makeup artists are probably cringing right now. I'm gonna mix this one here, this brown, and then this like champagne-y sort of color. I think I want a little bit of the bronze from the Jaclyn palette that I love. Oh yeah. And then I guess you just blend a little. Some people ask me if I had to choose a palette, which one would I choose? Honestly, I'd probably choose the Jaclyn palette. Are you guys shocked? I was shocked. I thought the Morphe 35G palette would blow me out of the water, but I almost feel like this one's like the formula is just better. Now for my eyebrows, I've actually been using a pretty unique product. I saw an ad on Facebook and I was like, I don't want to order on Facebook. It always takes so long to get. So I ended up finding it on Amazon and it's a liquid eyebrow pen. It's super easy to do. I just find that it looks so natural. I really like it, and it was like pretty cheap too. So now I'm just going to sweep away the baking. Normally I contour last, but I kind of feel like I look a little bit like an alien today, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. I'm gonna use the Morphe bronzer. I've been really liking this bronzer. I think the color's really nice and really brown. I've just been taking this matte, ooh, I don't even know. I've just been swirling my brush in and contouring my nose a little bit differently. So I've been starting like up here, almost like going up from the bridge of my nose to my eyebrow like this, adding some like shadow to my face and just following my natural shadows. I'm just gonna take this bronzer brush by Morphe, at least I think it's a bronzer brush, it's what I use it for. And I already have that cream bronzer on, so I'm not like trying to put so much, just a little bit more warmth on my face, because my sister always tells me I don't wear enough bronzer or blush. Okay, so my camera is actually flashing. You guys have seen me do my liner and mascara and lashes a billion times, so I'm gonna go plug my camera in, so that way we can do the highlight and see everything come together. We are back. I just used the NYX Epic Ink liner. I used CoverGirl Lash Blast mascara, and then I used my Kiss number 11 lashes. I just cut them in half and then glued them on the outer corner, and it just kind of like adds a little something extra. The one thing I will say is I feel like the e.l.f. concealer oxidized a little bit. I don't know if you can see on my hand here, it's definitely oxidized. I would say it oxidized pretty much like to a darker peachier shade, so my under eyes don't look as bright. I feel like this is definitely a little bit more of a matte foundation. I do feel like it's not as glowy as I'm used to, but then again, like I am a little bit dry now, so I'm not holding it against it. I was using like a new concealer, so I definitely will try it again. I don't hate the way it looks, and my skin does look very flawless. The color match actually looks pretty good for my skin, so I'm pretty happy about that. But because the concealer and the bronzer, like I just didn't feel like I had a lot of dimension on my face. Just to add a little bit more dimension and make my cheeks pop a little bit more, I did take some of the Coty Airspun powder and just apply it like underneath my cheekbones. I guess you can call this baking, but for me, I just find it really like makes my face pop a little bit more. The color's changing because the clouds are in and out. Oh, we didn't do highlighting yet, but I'll do highlighting last. I feel like highlighting is like the sprinkle on top. So for lip liner, I'm actually gonna use this color by ColourPop. It's called BFF. It's just a really nice everyday nude lip color. This is another lip combination that I have been loving. So I'm just gonna take some of this Pinup Pout by NYX in the color Sophisticated. I just added a little bit of this Becca Yours Truly on top. I'm gonna take a little bit of gloss. Now I'm just going to brush off. We're gonna do some loose highlighter, which I don't think I've ever done before. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never used a loose highlighter. This is the loose highlighting powder Mega Glow Wet n Wild, and this is the color I'm So Lit. So it looks really pretty. I don't know like how much to use. Okay, that's pretty blinding. It's weird because it looks very peachy and like champagne-y. It swatches very icy. Wow, that's pretty though. The colors are pretty. I feel like my skin tone's a little bit warmer, so it does. Okay, that looks like really pretty. I wasn't sure how to use a loose highlighter, but I'm just like tapping this brush in. I've been like kind of bringing my highlighter up like that, but I don't like to do it like all here because I feel like it just looks like an L, like a Tetris brick. So I just do it here, and then like I will like kind of like skip over here and then just like bring it up to my brow. I'm very intrigued by the other colors now. So it looks very natural. And then last final touch, I'm gonna take the Anastasia Dewy Set Setting Spray. I don't know if you're supposed to shake it. I'm just shaking it. That's a good spray. Slightly coconutty, but not as intense as the Wet n Wild one. Okay, so I think we are pretty much done. I feel like I have literally been doing my makeup for 3 hours, but I kind of like how it turned out. Let me unzoom you. All right, so this is the final look. A lot of these products I use for the first time, so I'm just gonna give you my quick first impressions. Like I mentioned, I feel like the concealer oxidized a little bit. I got medium beige. I probably would go for the color lighter just because it looks like a perfect color match when I first take it out, but it does oxidize a little bit, and as I'm getting paler, it's not exactly the best color match, and I feel like it does darken up my eyes and I don't have as much dimension. The foundation, I'm actually looking at it, and I think if I add a little bit more of like a glowy primer or maybe mix it with Armani Luminous Silk or a more glowy foundation, I think I'd like it even more, but in terms of coverage, my skin looks really good. It looks really flawless. I just like a little bit more of a dewy look, but I feel like once it sort of melts into my skin or sinks into my skin, I feel like that can really make or break a foundation. Either it'll melt into your skin and like break up, or it'll melt into your skin and just look like a second skin. So we'll see. I really like my eyeshadow today. I'm kind of proud of myself because I feel like I did something a little bit different and I think it looks really pretty. What else did I first try? The highlighter, again, I think it's really beautiful. Pretty subtle, very finely milled. The matte primer, the poreless primer, do I think it's like the best for pore filling? I don't notice my pores more than normal, but I will say my skin looks really good. I have the Canon G7X. I don't have the face smoothing stuff on, but overall, I think I really like it. I'm excited. I will definitely try this out again, and this foundation was not as expensive as a lot of other drugstore foundations are. I don't fault the concealer. Like, the concealer is laying really nice. I'm not really experiencing any creasing. I feel like it covered really well, but it's not the exact color match for me. I did really like this dewy setting spray by Anastasia. I feel like it really meshed everything together on my skin, and I'm looking at it and it doesn't look greasy or oily. I like that this one is, it still kind of feels like MAC Fix Plus. It's very fresh feeling. It doesn't give me that like weird tacky feeling that I feel sometimes with the Tatcha. So overall, there's nothing that I tried that was really a disaster. So I'm actually coming to you a little bit later because my camera died for like the second time while I was filming. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna edit the video and then give you my final like closing thoughts. We kind of got a little bit of an update. I've been really good about not touching my face. I need a little gloss touch up. Up close, if I look, I think my skin looks pretty good. I really feel like it's the concealer color that's throwing me off just a tiny bit, so I'm really excited to try this foundation tomorrow. Anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually really like my makeup today. I really like the eye look. There's nothing that I tried that I was like, this is terrible, so I'm happy about that because I feel like I've been trying a lot of duds lately. In the comments down below, let me know what some of your favorite drugstore products are because I have just been like obsessed with shopping at the drugstore, so I'd love to try some of your favorites. As always, links to everything I mentioned along with my shades will be listed in the down bar down below. Please let me know if you have any other questions or comments, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.